Hey folks, this is Matt once again with just a small review. And this is a film that actually CK and Uncle Bill had talked with them on their Saturday Nightmares. And they said they had talked about these films, and I said I had not seen them. And like, what? You know, basically like, you gotta see these movies. So I sort of took that as an assignment, like, this is your assignment, do this. And weirdly enough, someone I know, well, my mom, she bought this and said, hey, look what I bought him. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's Best of the Best, directed by Robert Radler, who's done a couple stuff. He did the sequel, Best of the Best 2, the only two that went theatrical, because there was a 3 and a 4 with mainly starring Phillip Rhee. And I think Phillip Rhee directed part 3, but I'm not even sure if he directed part 4, maybe, but I know he directed part 3. And those went direct to DVD, because I guess the sequel was not a success, and then they just went direct to VHS, I should say, back then. But anyway, Robert Radler, I think he did a lot of Power Rangers episodes. He directed a lot of Power Rangers. He even directed Substitute 3 and 4. He directed one called Showdown. So he's directed a few things. And well, I really enjoy this film. I was really surprised. This has a very fast pace. And actually, I'm reading that Phillip Rhee came up with the story, and he was also a producer on the film. And actually, Simon Rhee plays like one of the Korean team members. I don't know if it's his brother or what. I'm trying to find out who did the score to this movie, because that was a really... Damn it, they don't have it on the back here. Great. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. Long story short, Best of the Best, I believe, is a 1989 flick, in which starts out very quickly. I mean, we're introduced to a few characters. Our main two, we have Eric Roberts, who his wife has passed on. He has a kid, and his own mom, played by Nurse Ratched herself. It was like, wow, what the hell, Nurse Ratched there? You know? Louise Fletcher, for those who don't know. And basically he talks about how there's this chance, and you know, he's sort of working on an auto, putting together cars and stuff, the assembly line. And just a chance to try out for this. And Tommy, played by Phillip Rhee, he's a sort of a karate instructor, and he tries out for it as well. And then it really gets into it where they're in the tryouts, and we're also introduced to Chris Penn, who I think his name is Travis, and he's very much of a rowdy type of guy, doesn't get along with anybody. And they have the tryouts, and then basically those three get picked, and these two other guys. And then James Earl Jones, James Earl Jones himself, is going to train this team to go on a Taekwondo tournament. Well, not really. Exhibition with a Korean team. And like I said, there's a guy with an eye patch named, what was the character's name? Simon Rhee. Might be, I guess, his Phillip Rhee's brother. But and this guy with the eye patch in the Korean team had killed Phillip Rhee, Tommy's brother, and another fight, sort of tournament match beforehand. And then basically it's them sort of training, and there's this female that comes in to help them meditate and stuff, and it's basically a lot of training, them sort of hanging out. They get little bits of things, like Eric Roberts, I guess his kid had gotten hit by a car, and he goes out, and James Earl Jones is very tough on him, saying if you leave, you know, even though the guy is just seeing how his fucking kid just got hit by a bike, but he's like, no, you can't, otherwise you can't come back. And Phillip Rhee, he's holding back in his training because, you know, he's afraid that he'll kill this guy, you know, who killed his brother before. And basically just all that stuff going on, and then you get to the fight at the end, and you have the two guys that we don't know much about. They get their asses kicked. Chris Penn does okay, but then they get in a sudden match where they break the bricks, and he loses. Eric Roberts, he's always had, his character has this gimp shoulder sort of arm thing, and that gets hurt, but he fights one arm and he wins. And then Phillip Rhee is able to kick the shit out of Dehan, and he could win, but it's one of those things, if he wins, hits him, the guy will probably die. So he sort of doesn't do anything and, lets him win, but, saves his honor. And the film is really enjoyable. It was fast-paced. It was really wonderful action, fight sequences. Of course, you get your typical bar brawl, which I'm a fan of. And I like the actors. Eric Roberts, he does all right with the martial arts. I mean, he does okay. You can tell he's not a great martial artist, but, I've seen worse. Trying to think of where I've seen worse. Well, me, if I filmed myself, it'd be worse. But Phillip Rhee is an excellent martial artist. Chris Penn actually does all right, and I mean they do okay. And the score, I was trying to find out who did the score. The score is really good. I really enjoy the score, and again, James Earl Jones. I mean, everybody does a great job acting wise. Decent score. And the fight sequences, and it does get sappy at times. Eric Roberts' character cries a lot in this movie, but at least unlike Spider-Man, Peter Parker, I don't believe that guy can kick ass. Eric Roberts could kick this Tobey Maguire's ass. So, but he does cry a lot, And then the ending, I like the ending. Basically, the Korean team have won, but the one guy who's hurt, Dehan, goes up to Phillip Rhee and goes, "I'm sorry. To save someone in defeat is to win with honor." I forget the line. And basically, "I will be your brother," or something like that, and gives him the medal. And then another guy goes to Eric Roberts and gives him the honor. "I know who you are, Alex." I think Eric Roberts is Alex. "I know who you are too." It's like, oh my god, it's getting really sappy but it's the 80s for you, so I was fine. I mean, Rocky, Karate Kid, they sort of cut it off, but he was like, "I love you, man. I love you too, man. I love you more, man." That was a little too much. But it was a good score, and it's different, It's not just, "You killed my brother, I will kill you," boom. Ripped your heart out. So, it tried to be different, and it tried to be its own film, and I was fine with it. That's why I don't, I made fun of it a little bit. I have to, because of the crying. But I like the way it ended. I mean, it made it a little bit different. It wasn't really true bad guys in this film. Not really. I mean, even the guy who did that, it was an accident when it happened, and I mean, again. But yeah, I mean, overall, I like the movie. I'm not sure what else to say, because that's pretty much the movie. And it says it's 106 minutes, which is an hour and 46 minutes, and it's PG-13, which makes sense. But yeah, there's really not much I can complain about. This is a really solid movie. I was very much surprised. And yeah, I mean, I'd just be babbling, but best of the best. I definitely suggest you check it out. It's on YouTube for free. But yeah, I'm glad I have this. And I did see Best of the Best too, which I also enjoyed, but for somewhat different reasons. But for a film that a team is not a team if you don't give a damn about each other. These guys sort of bonding and training with each other and then fight at the end. It's a good one. So it's a short video review, but thanks for watching. and see you later.